Hey everyone, how's it going? Grizzly Bear here with another Team Fortress 2 gameplay commentary. And today, going to be playing as the engineer on King of the Hill Nucleus. Been getting quite a few requests to play a little bit of combat engineer, so thought I'd finally give it a go, although it's not really a class that I enjoy playing as a whole lot. I find it a little bit boring, but you guys have been wanting to see it, so here you go. But today, not really going to be talking about the gameplay or Team Fortress 2. Instead, we're going to be talking about a couple of other hobbies of mine, those being reading and writing. So, reading is probably in my top 5 favorite things to do, like ever. You know, I enjoy fiction and non-fiction. Fiction is great for, you know, getting out of your head and kind of taking to this little vacation somewhere. And non-fiction could also be used in that sort of way, but not really the kind of non-fiction that I've been reading lately. So I've been trying to get into the whole ebook thing, you know, because it's a lot more convenient and the books are cheaper and you don't have to have all these books stacked up in your room. But e-readers are extremely expensive. So right now what I'm doing is I've just downloaded an app on my phone and on my computer that allows me to read ebooks. So I've been buying up a bunch of ebooks. And the book that I bought a few days ago is called The 4-Hour Workweek by Timothy Ferriss. And it's one of those books that's pretty motivational, which is good for a guy like me, because it's really easy for me just to, you know, sit back and stick to the routine, just go through the motions. But this book really encourages you to get up off your butt and be more productive, which is something I've been having a lot of trouble with lately. Not only that, I feel it's also one of those books that kind of guides you in the right direction in life. And if any of you guys are in your early to mid-20s, you probably have the same feelings that I've been having, you know, these past couple of years. I went through school, I did what everybody told me to do, now what? And maybe some of you younger guys, or older guys for that matter, are experiencing the same thing. So that's why I love these kinds of books. You know, they make you ask yourself questions about things that maybe you've not thought of. And if this sounds like a kind of book that you guys would be interested in, they're usually in the self-improvement section in the bookstore. And I mean, you know, there are a lot of great books in there. In Barnes & Noble, that's usually where I go and set camp up, is in the self-improvement section. You might feel a little bit weird, you know, just standing next to all these books. But there really are a lot of good books in there, and they're not all just about battling depression. So I encourage you guys to check those out. But maybe you're not like me, maybe you don't like to read, and for some reason, a lot of people just don't think that reading is cool. I remember when Facebook first came out, in the book section, you know, when you're supposed to put down like your favorite authors and books, there were so many people that were like, I don't read, or what's a book, lol. And I don't know, I always just felt a little sorry for those people who hadn't discovered the joy of reading. And maybe you've read some books and you don't think it's really for you, but I encourage you to keep trying, keep reading, because I truly believe that there is a book out there for every single person in the world that you will enjoy. So hopping off of reading and kind of transitioning to the other hobby that I mentioned earlier, which is writing, and you know, these two kind of go hand in hand. I'm not sure if I've ever mentioned this, but I really love to write. It's one of the things that I really enjoy doing. Not as much as reading, but it is one of the things that I enjoy. And, you know, I just think it's a really good way to clear your head, get some thoughts down on paper, and it kind of helps reinforce who you are as a person if you keep a journal or something, because you're able to actually see your thoughts on a piece of paper. And something you don't really think about when you're reading is, you know, someone else wrote this. There's never a moment when I'm engrossed in the story that I just kind of stop and say, well, you know, this is really just something that someone else wrote. Think about it. I mean, everything you've read was written by someone. That Wikipedia article you just read, the definitions in a dictionary, there are some things we just kind of take for granted and don't realize that someone sat down and took the time to write them out. And that's something cool that I find about reading. You know, the person, the author that wrote this book is telling me a story and I'm just there taking it in. And, you know, this story could last hours or it could last days, even weeks. And I'm just sitting there reading it and I'm enjoying every moment. And if someone were to actually sit down and tell me the story and they said, well, hang on, before I get started, let me just warn you, this story that I'm about to tell you is going to take about 2 weeks for me to finish. I would say, no way, I'm not going to sit here and listen to you babble about the story for 2 weeks. But reading is great. You're able to put the book down, pick it up whenever you want, and that's what I love about it, is that, you know, it's almost like a one-on-one experience. This person is just telling you this great story that they came up with in their head, or something about their life, and I just really find that great. And then you think of all the stories that have lasted, centuries. That Shakespeare story that you were forced to read in high school, a person actually sat down with pen and paper and wrote that out. And, okay, maybe it wasn't really a pen, but you guys get my point. Everything that we've read has been written by someone. Everything that's been recorded in history was written down. Even today, with so much technology available, things are still relayed in writing. And I find that pretty crazy. I don't know. Maybe in 100 years something's gonna replace it, but the stories that have been created will still remain. And people will still be studying Shakespeare, and maybe some books written this year are gonna be considered classics. And that's just, I don't know. That's crazy for me to think about. I just want to know what your guys' opinions are on all this. Do you like to read or write? Do you have a favorite book? Any idea of what books right now are gonna stand the test of time? I'd love to hear it all. So that's all I really have for you guys today. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will talk to you guys all later. Have a good one. Bye.
This is Heavy Weapons Guy. Thank you for watching Grizzly Berry. Now click that little yellow button. Ha ha!